you still doing music or what?
Yeah.
I mean, like lyric music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you released anything recently?
No. Been a minute.
Yeah.
Been a minute.
Hey, well, you know the time is perfect
Well,
now.
see, it's time. It's time now.
Yeah.
The kids are a little older.
Hey, do me a favor. Can y'all set the mic right here on the table?
Absolutely. Right here?
Yep, that's good.
I sold like about 10 of your CDs when I was at Auto Owner.
All right.
I was selling them.
Hey,
like
we are
it
live
was
right now,
happening.
y'all. So let's go ahead and get it kicked off here right quick. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to another great episode of Conversations Under the Hood. I'm one of your hosts, and we got the wonderful Dr. Lindy Way Helm over here. And tonight we have a special guest. We talked about him a little bit last week, but we had a wonderful Caldwell family in here tonight.
Power couple.
Yes, soon to be Dr. Virginia Caldwell.
All but
Let's go.
dissertation.
And
so
my
it's
brother
not the
from another
ABC.
mother, Brian Caldwell.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
we
sir.
happy to have y'all, and this is gonna be fun. So
We are happy
to be
We
here.
figured we have us a little pineapple juice,
Yes.
a little bit of mint, yeah, with the fresh mint. We figured
I
Fresh
remember.
mint.
I
Yeah.
remember. She got it.
I'm loving this fresh mint.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yes,
That's it.
indeed.
Absolutely.
If you don't mind, I just rinse the cups, y'all. So
Oh, I
They're a little
don't
down,
mind.
but that's
I
it.
don't mind at all. Appreciate you.
hey, some folks
Appreciate
got
your
warn them. You know what I
hospitality.
mean? I ain't spit shine them. That's for sure.
Hey, if you did, we all fans. It's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
love.
Yeah.
You chopped it off.
I'm
That's
trying
right.
to rob you of your
I don't need any breathing room on this.
No, this
I'm not
is.
trying
Hey,
to rob
so
you of your
I'm
blessings.
gonna
All
I'm gonna take a
couple.
moment here, y'all, and just share this a few times, okay?
Absolutely.
Just want to
Good.
make
You
sure
hooked it up? Okay,
we
good.
get it out here.
Yes, indeed. Everybody come on in. It's going to be a great
Oh
conversation.
man,
Come
we
on
about to
in,
have
come
a
on
good
in.
time.
Yeah, this is wonderful. You guys, we're so honored to have you. You guys are like the best power couple, the best parents
Wow.
ever.
We trying to be like
Wonderful,
y'all.
wonderful
Right?
kids.
We just try to be like y'all.
Oh, here
careful
she
with
go
that.
with that. Don't
No,
worry.
no, no. You know,
Yeah.
when
Seriously.
Ron and I were dating and we were visiting friends, and well, we consider y'all family.
Yes,
Oh.
We would hang out at your house all the time,
All the
all,
time.
all types of
Yeah.
day and night. And we would just be like, man, when we're parents, man, we gotta be like Rob and Lindy, man.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Do you see how they handled that? Wow, they just handled it like the Cosby Show, only like African version.
Right?
You're
Right?
so nice.
I'm so crazy.
Man, like they didn't even freak out, babe. I'd have been freaked out. I'd have been like, what did you do? And snatching children. And nobody got
literally.
snatched, babe. Nobody got
No,
snatched.
literally.
Well, when you have
Literally.
5 kids, at some point, you figure it out. But one thing we agreed upon at a very early age is to ensure that we understand that kids are just like little adults, so they need to be treated with care and respect.
Right.
Yeah.
Just because
Right.
they're smaller than us and everything, we're not going to treat them differently. We're going to show them the same regards and respect that we show our friends.
Right.
You know.
Absolutely.
So we tried, but I'm sure it was a hit and miss here and there, but
Right.
we just,
I'm sorry, y'all. I got sidetracked there a little bit.
I
Y'all
know,
have to
Mr.
forgive me.
Technology, man,
You
you need to
getting-
hire
you getting it all-
technical stuff.
Getting it all set up. It's
Hey,
all
yeah,
good.
so
It's all
looking
good.
here, I want to start out with a little toast here. Uh-oh.
I'm gonna move this out of the way.
Yep, I'm sorry about
Yeah.
that little green thing. You sit right there.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I thought that was a taller glass than that. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is our first toast of 2025.
Let's go.
2025.
And what an appropriate one. So we bringing family back together, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, that's what
Yes.
the goal is, 2025.
2025.
Yes.
25.
Hey.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, we're gonna tap into that talent too, because you two
Uh-oh.
are the most amazing
I just realized I
musicians.
got 2 glasses, y'all.
It's all good.
It's gonna be a long night.
They used to perform together too as
Yes.
musicians.
Absolutely.
Very
That can-
professional
Indeed.
musician, you know.
Mhm.
And you know, sis here sings, plays guitar, plays flute. I mean, she performing, put one thing down and play another. I'm like,
That's
oh
it.
wow! I feel like I'm in, you know, slow ed right now. And look, her man at the back just. I was like,
Keep
oh,
it
okay.
together.
I
Try to
see
keep it
y'all, I
together,
see
you
y'all.
know,
Keeping the
you
beat,
know.
keeping the
Holding
heart
it down.
Yes,
Holding
indeed.
it down.
So
beautiful.
let's just you know, we were talking a little bit before y'all came, just to kind of get an idea of how we might want to pursue this. And Ron, I'm gonna have to ask you if you could keep an eye on them comments there, if you would, because
Absolutely.
I can't really see that too well.
That's all good.
Let's see here. All right. What do we got here? I probably done broke them now. I swear I'll be going through. There we go. All right, we got one. Well, okay, we got Compass Ion in the house. Hey, brother.
Awesome.
Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, as a matter of fact, this is the gentleman that I was telling y'all about.
Cheers, bro.
Mhm.
He is also
He's a
into making music.
musician.
Okay.
He does a lot of like DJ stuff. He does a lot of mixing, mastering stuff. Also raps. You
Awesome
know, he and I go way, way back to dang on middle school actually.
Okay.
So yeah,
Nice.
we got a long history.
Nice.
Mhm.
But he spent some time in Chicago or
Yeah.
Southern Illinois,
Okay.
and that's where we all kind
Shout
of
out to Chicago.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And so and then he went to Tennessee, and in Tennessee he connected with a brother. Actually, I was just playing some of his music, Lance Carter. He goes by Pockets,
Nice.
and this dude is like 6'6", you know,
Mhm.
but man, he got some skills, and he be
Yeah.
flowing, man. So so I like to try to show them some love. He did a lot of stuff for us actually with the All Sports.
Yeah.
Okay.
They made a couple of All Sports songs. I don't know if you've heard any of them, but there are a few of them on YouTube that they did some full songs for. Pretty dope,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
So
And we usually open the show with their music.
yeah, I did actually. Well,
It's very
I was on the
professional.
wrong channel, but I did open the show with some music. So, I think it worked out because it gave everybody time to get here. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
but let me just start by asking a question. To either of you can feel free to answer it, but you know, as I said, Lindy and I, we were talking briefly before the show, and we were trying to figure out like how should we go about this show. You know, you guys are the first couple that we've had on the show. We've had a couple other guests, and so I guess one question for y'all. You know, our show really emphasizes family and business, and as we've got reacquainted, you obviously have a family. A beautiful family,
Yes.
and also a business. So, my question to you all is, what are your plans and goals with your natural path? I don't want to
You're right,
say
you're on
it
the right
wrong.
track.
Okay,
Natural
the natural path, naturopathic. There we go.
There you go.
I'm psychopathic, naturopath. I was
No,
trying
that's
to-
Like she treats
Those are
you,
separate.
Real
Separate ends of the pendulum.
Right.
Right.
but you will treat him for that, right?
We can do what we can.
There you go.
Help where we can. I
Naturally.
heard that.
Help what we can with
Yeah.
nature.
There you go.
But so what do you all have as a goal for 2025 as from a perspective of business and family?
I think balance is probably the first goal.
Mm.
But just continue to establish the concept, educate the community on what naturopathy is. Every other Tuesday,
Mm.
I offer a free Zoom class.
Okay.
Okay.
It's called Tune Into Health.
Oh.
Tuesday.
And my desire is really for the community that we live in, our community,
Yes.
that we represent, to have a better understanding as to their body,
Mm-hmm.
how it works,
Right.
and things that they could be doing to help to care for it.
Mm-hmm.
Care for it, understand it,
Mm-hmm.
fuel it,
Yeah.
maintain it.
Right.
You know, you can't keep putting rubbing alcohol in a car and think it's going to drive well.
Right.
That's right.
I tried. Didn't work out.
Listen,
I hear you. Yeah.
So we can't
yeah.
keep eating the same things that we're eating and expecting us not to have chronic conditions.
Right.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
But if we have those chronic conditions, our body, when it gets a cut, it heals itself. It was made to regenerate,
Right.
right.
and all cells have a different lifespan, and so they will eventually regenerate. So what you're putting in your mouth is building your house for tomorrow
Right.
or next year.
Gotcha.
So really passionate about that. So I want to continue to get the word out about health in your body, and in the process of that, I believe that when you care for people, everybody eats.
Right.
Yes.
So
So what time is this Zoom class on
7
Tuesday?
to 8.
7 p.m.
7 p.m. to 8 p.m.
How do
Awesome.
people find that? How do
So my page is Tune Into Health.
Okay.
Type it in.
On Facebook? Okay.
Type it.
And then I usually tag with a post a couple days before, and then a couple hours before, and then an hour before with the Zoom link. And again, it's free to anybody and everybody.
Okay.
And then I have one more year until I'm done with school. So I don't want
Till you're done with your PhD.
when I'm done with my Doctor of Naturopathy.
Oh,
Okay.
Doctor of Nature. Okay,
I like that.
Yes.
I am trying to get everything established so that when that is finished and I have my credentials, then we're ready to rock and roll in some sense.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
So what's your goal once you have received that doctorate and have had that opportunity to breathe? Like, do you have some next steps in place, like that you're going to jump on as soon as you complete that?
Should have told you it was an interview.
I'm not sure because currently I work for brain injury rehab company.
Okay.
And I really am enjoying, it's been less than a year, so I'm really enjoying establishing that program. And, it's a great group of people. It's a great family of people. So I have to think through what does the next steps look like.
Right.
Does that look like maybe part-time evenings and weekends?
Right.
Because everybody works.
Right.
And they don't really need somebody to talk to while they're already at work.
Right.
They need somebody available when they get out of work.
Right.
Or maybe even on the weekends.
Right.
And my practice is going to look differently because I care about what's happening at home. So I think at first I might do home visits because I want to see what your environment is like.
Right. Your support system.
What is your support system like? What does your pantry look like?
Right.
What does your refrigerator look like?
Love it.
Because if
That
we're going to make
system speaking,
change, we have to make lasting change in the environment in which you live. If you come to my office and we talk all good, and then you go back home to the situation that you were in, it's hard to make changes there.
Right.
But if I come and we get excited about how this could be different, this could look different.
Yeah.
Okay, these foods, these ingredients, they're not serving your body, they're not serving you. Healthy sleep routine, what does that look like? Then it's a totally different. You can envision your space differently, and then how you're going to approach it.
Yeah.
So
We're signing up. We need to sign up. Sleeping good, eating good,
listen.
Absolutely. And this brother right here, we were just at your house yesterday, and my husband and I were talking about it as we're coming home. This brother, he's in the kitchen making tea for everybody, washing dishes, and sis, she's just have all her books sitting there, just entertaining that. I said, you know what? You a good man, good husband, good brother, good human being.
He is the best support system. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without him.
Right.
Yeah, and it's so important, right? Because when I was working on my doctorate as well, I had the best support system. It's so almost impossible.
I go to school for the weekend. I mean, he holds it down. I go to school for the weekend.
You know what? Here.
Right.
Thank you.
Here, you too.
I feel like that's an important piece. Like, we're a team. So if one team member has the ball, the other person is trying to be a support and making sure that they can do what they need to do. Or if I'm running point, if I'm using basketball as a
Yeah.
as a analogy,
Under the hood.
because we're under the
Right,
hood.
right. Just saying,
You know.
Yeah.
So I got to try to set her up to be successful.
Right.
Yes.
And so trying to make sure, like, and especially too, tea is my passion. Like as
Who's the tea man?
we get into
wow, yeah.
herbology and different things like that. But I mean, even before that, like when we first got together, she introduced me to loose leaf tea and different things like that. And so, sipping green tea or dandelion tea and different things like that. And then getting to know what that does for the body. And now learning even more, taking it a step further with herbology and learning, even more herbs and different things and the effects that they can have, like, a CBD tea on relaxation and or, sleep aid and things like that. And so, when it comes to making tea, she's like, babe, what kind of tea? Oh, you want to try something new or you want the same old?
Right.
And I'll go in there and I'll make up the tea because it's just a passion of mine.
I think the love started first for you though with coffee.
Oh.
Kind of. But that was only because, like, with work, trying to stay up and trying to,
Okay.
But yeah,
He got
I
a little
was
gourmet with
drinking
though.
coffee
I
too.
just have a question.
Oh, you a barista over here.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, you hooked him with coffee. Let's talk about that.
So I didn't hook it with him. So we started with tea, and then he started in on coffee, and he got a French press
Yeah.
first,
Yep.
and then that transitioned into a pour over,
Yeah.
Right.
and then he started grinding the beans.
Yeah. Hand grinder.
Hand grinding the beans instead
He
of,
did that on purpose. Did he grind the beans in front of you?
and it smells real good.
You know what I'm
too.
saying? I heard all the
The
game.
crunch sound, the sound of the crunch. Yeah.
My coffee game stepped up when I went to the pour over. I can't front. Like
Yeah.
the French press was cool because, like, working. So when we first moved back in 2016, well, no, even before that, I was drinking Dunkin' Donuts.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it was.
it's okay to be honest.
It evolved.
We started from the bottom, and now we
Right.
We already know you were grinding coffee. Sister Gail had to come back on the second day.
Yeah.
And you just had to keep grinding. Okay, I got you.
But yeah, so when I started getting into working third shift, I was drinking a lot more coffee, and then I got into the French press. But then one of the guys introduced me to, pour over, and so I got into that. But no, she had me hooked long before coffee came
Oh,
into
yeah.
the scene.
Hey, they'll do that to you.
So how? I want to know how.
Uh-oh.
we
She's trying to
were
get
in
you.
high
you
school.
got-
We
you
were
trying
in
to go-
middle school together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Yeah. He was a drummer in the back of the room.
He's still a
Yeah.
right?
The
Yeah.
little attitude. Yeah.
Right.
It is like medium high top fade,
You know,
medium fade.
Uh-oh.
the
Yeah,
attitude.
that's going way back.
Yeah.
And this
that's a
beautiful
mini.
sister come walking up, so you acting like
We
he
were in
didn't know
band
you.
together.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. She was the cute flute player in the front. And I
Yeah.
was the drummer in the
The
back.
cocky.
So you were
drummer
acting
guy.
like you don't see her, right? Ignoring
He
her a little
absolutely
bit.
did.
And
And then it was
I
here
don't
between
know.
us, so
I don't know.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
So he was a young.
I couldn't
he was
front.
a young buck.
Uh-oh.
He
That's
was in
okay, you
seventh
get
grade,
them
and I was
young.
in 8th grade.
Oh,
you know.
man. You was feeling like a big guy back there, huh?
I mean, honestly,
He said, I
I
hate to say it, but he was a big deal. Yeah.
I felt like she was out of my league, though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like it was that because she was older. All the cool kids knew her, and then I was just the 7th grader, kind of coming in trying to, Like I knew my thing on the drums, but when it came to the ladies,
He was a nice guy, so he didn't,
Yeah.
spit all the nonsense game.
Yeah.
Girl, you just like a Pepsi. I gotta have it. You know what I mean? Like,
Wait, do that again.
I'm so glad that wasn't me. So glad that wasn't me.
listen, that was spit. That was
That was
delivered.
back
That
then.
was delivered back then.
Yeah.
You must
sad.
be tired because you be running around
Running
in
my mind all day.
Mhm.
Game was tired, man.
And so this is the perfect time for us to shift into, I think, what we really wanted to get into, which was more relationship,
Yes.
Okay.
types of things. Because,
Yeah.
what we do, right, or what we try to do is we always try to leave some nuggets, what we call gold nuggets on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether we're talking about business or whether we're talking about family, just, something that maybe could be motivational or some, a lesson learned,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or a tip, right? Advice, for other couples, especially younger couples nowadays with social media and they change.
I can't even imagine dating right now.
Well, there's the first question, right? I mean, that's the first topic. Dating in 2025. I don't know nothing about that, but
listen, I don't know either, and I thank God.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
we gotta get on our job.
Listen,
Y'all been married for how long now?
it'll be 12 years.
12 years in March.
12 years. Wow.
22nd.
Y'all didn't waste it. Y'all did like us. You didn't waste no time because Trey is 12, isn't it?
Yeah.
It'll be 12.
Yeah. See?
It'll be 12.
We'll be married for 23,
Be 25
almost
years.
24 years.
No, 25.
25, I think. Yeah, it's almost 24.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we kind of like, let's get married and have babies and have this big life together. You know?
And look at you now.
I know, right?
Yeah,
It's
I
just
know.
a big life, right?
Yeah, he's a little younger than me too, so that was really interesting because I never was into younger guys, but it was fate.
Yeah, but it was the
And
same.
he thought I
just
was
like you said.
always
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we,
I didn't even get too excited because I'm like, yeah. That,
I don't even know. Right. Yeah.
I was used to young ladies who hadn't been quite out of the hood yet. You know what I mean?
So worldly and so
That travel,
traveled
and, had
and
views
experienced.
yeah. So that was a growth point for me. Okay, so. All right, I'm not gonna keep asking the questions. It's 4 of us in here, so
No, so you brought up dating in 2025. I guess like for us, because we date too. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that it's important for couples to not lose that.
Right.
yeah.
to still date.
To still date, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
In which,
Yeah.
from a family perspective, it gets challenging with
Yeah.
children, with careers, school,
we
and
got
things like that.
teenagers. See how quiet it is upstairs? See that? We can date. We can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still a couple years out, but
Right.
I mean,
We got a
we
little
just
bit of
drop them off
time.
over here actually
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on a date.
and go on a date.
You know?
Yeah.
I hear that.
But like that, that's key. Like having a village, having
Yeah.
family, having
Right.
people in your corner that can help you with stuff like that. Because her mom has been key, clutch even in
Coming up and spending
coming
a
up.
week,
Yeah,
you
she'll
know.
spend a week
Yeah.
and then she'll give us time, like a day or two, where we can just
Yeah.
go,
Yeah.
or
Oh,
a
that's
weekend or something
beautiful.
like that. Yeah.
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 That's a great
Hey,
support
but
system.
that's actually a good point to touch on because that's what we didn't have really.
Yeah.
My mother was she lived out of town.
Out of
Pretty much
town.
all of my family lives away from us,
Yeah.
so we didn't have that, which caused us to be different kind of parents, right? Because
Right.
we got to
Right.
spend every moment with our kids, and we got to balance everything that we do around our kids. And
Yeah.
last week we were talking about even like. For me, being in construction, I used to take my kids to work,
Yeah.
and I remember a situation actually. I was refinishing the deck, and this lady, she worked for the state. Actually, she was a friend of a friend. First time I ever met her, and so I was over there doing the work, and had the kids with me. So the kids were running around, bobbling their heads and running into stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm working.
That was Nini and Jay.
Yeah. And after the job was over, the customer, I didn't know the customer was even home. I thought she had went to work because she worked for the state. It was the middle of the week or whatever. And so I found out like a couple of days later from the friend who recommended her to me that she was home and that she was super impressed. And she was impressed because not only did I do a good job, but she couldn't understand how I was able to do a good job and still manage
Watching
the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We
And,
bought them construction tools.
Oh yeah.
I
So
love
they
that.
thought they were working
Yes,
too.
they were
with
doing
it.
it.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't get him to go to work with me now, but
I take Trey with me, and
Yeah.
he's my assistant.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
how they learn how to
Yeah.
be responsible.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that experience is far-reaching, way
Yeah.
far-reaching that we can imagine.
Yeah.
Because he hears the vocabulary, he sees
Yeah.
what you do.
Right.
Now the logic kicks in.
Yeah.
Oh, if you decide to follow the same path, he already like 10 steps ahead.
Right.
But that's awesome. That's really
Hey,
awesome.
Compass says that you all are good people. He's looking forward to meeting y'all.
We're
Yeah.
excited too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get on some
absolutely.
beats and
And
bars and
talented.
all of that.
Yes.
Let's get
Yeah.
it. Let's
Good
go.
and talented.
Let's Get
You
it.
know, he's
Yeah,
a musician.
appreciate that.
So this is gonna be so awesome.
Okay, so hey, do we need to spin the bottle to get a question up in here or something?
Wow.
Spin the ink or something? I'm
Wow.
saying, hey, we talking couples and all that, man.
Wow.
Here.
Yeah.
So okay, I got a question.
Boom.
I
What's
got a
on you?
question.
Oh,
Okay,
that's scary. Hold on.
Go for it.
Have
Come
a
on,
sip.
go
I mean,
ahead.
it was pointing at her though. I don't want.
Uh-oh, she passed. She passed.
You want me
Hey,
to
you
jump
could
in?
be
I
pointing
got
at
it.
Ron, though.
You
I
said
got
you
it.
had a question.
So
Jump in.
So okay, you know, do you find it challenging to find couple friends? Because you might connect with the gentleman, but you might not connect with the wife,
Right.
or vice
Oh,
versa.
right.
So how hard is it to find a solid couple to hang with?
Crickets.
That's solid, right?
That's a solid question.
That's a very, very good question.
Go ahead, you buying time. Answer it.
Don't tell me what we'll do, but
Hey, you said ladies first.
ladies first. You know what I'm saying? He could
Very
have just said
aggressive
that.
way.
In a very aggressive way.
You know, he could have just said that. I would have been
You
done
just
with
said,
my
babe, you
answer.
go ahead and take this one.
I would have answered that question right now.
Yeah.
Now that you
Now
did
you
that,
feel-
Y'all gonna
I
have to forgive us.
answer.
Now you feeling
It's-
like
it's
you feeling some
friends
type
up
of
in
way,
here.
right?
So
Yes.
this is how this goes.
That's
Hey.
right.
You feeling
That's right.
Disclaimer: this is how this goes
Right.
anytime we get together.
Hey, we got a couple more. We got a couple more guests. We got let's see, Marcus Martin, man. What's up, brother? Welcome to the
Hey.
show. Hey, if y'all got any
Welcome.
questions, comments, or whatever, y'all, we just
Please put
chilling
them in
and
the
vibing
chat.
it out.
Yes.
Matter of fact, Mr. Martin, he's also a musician.
Okay.
Okay.
I've been
Awesome.
following some of his
So
stuff
you're
on
gonna
Facebook.
sponsor a jam session here? at
Well,
the
I was
I
thinking,
feel
man,
like-
what
I
we
need to
could
bring,
do,
you know
'cause
what?
Right?
You see this
I
room
got a
right
guitar.
here?
We can pop the trunk.
hey,
We
and we got the
talk about
rooms out
studio.
there
You see
for
this?
sure.
Lot of room right here.
Yeah, hey, and
can
we
set
got
this up.
Make it happen.
Frederick and
Make it
Denise
happen.
Taylor. That's my sister and her husband.
Let's go.
So
Let's
welcome,
go.
welcome to the show. Yeah, so back to your
Awesome.
question.
The question was.
No, I got it. I
Oh,
remember your
okay.
question.
Okay.
So
In case
yeah,
you needed a recap.
so I'm just look, I'm buying some time. But no, seriously, I have to think about that because Lindy, you know, our relationship is kind of different in terms of outside of our household, right?
Yeah.
And like pre-meeting you and your husband, right?
Mhm.
We used to do a lot of socializing. We used to have people come to our
Dancing.
house. We did African dance and drum. We did all those kinds of things. So we used to
Yeah.
have people all the time.
Mhm.
But none of those people actually did we connect with, as except one.
Yeah.
Except one,
Yeah.
and for the wrong reasons, right? But as far as connecting with families who were like on the same plane, who were like
Same
goal
mindset.
oriented,
Mhm.
that you know were morally, ethically sound, like those kinds of characteristics that you look for when you think about safety for your relationship or safety for your
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
That's not something that, and nothing against anybody because maybe I didn't get to know people deep enough to realize,
Right,
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But for us, you know, being more concerned about our children's safety.
And who
That
we
kinda-
have them around.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Right. And
Certainly.
so that limited the number of people. And even that, you know, you just never know who, right? So
Right.
so we just pretty much maintain kind of a closed circle, if you will.
Yeah.
And you know, so to have a family like yours, that's just why this is
So
so
exciting.
perfectly timed.
Mhm.
Because even back, you know, when we first were hanging out and
Yeah.
doing things together, that was all great and all that. But I don't think we were.
You guys were not parents. You were young.
Well,
Exactly.
even with us, like I'm just saying, solidified. Like, you know, I think maturity, right, over
yeah, you
time,
were still young.
and life experiences, right, valuing people. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
Because
right,
it's
right.
Yes.
easy to
yeah.
just pass. You know, what up,
Right.
man, and just keep it moving.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
And so that's what I kind of learned last night is just being there. I'm like, man, you know, this is what we've been missing because having a family like you all, or just, you know, as we talking generally, a couple, right,
Solid
that is
couple,
solid, that's,
too.
you know, meeting those morals and ethics
Mhm.
is for someone who has been, I would say, kind of sheltered like we have been,
Mhm.
is like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like, wow, man, we can breathe, man. Like, wow, we can do this, you know?
Yeah, we
so-
can just kick back.
Right.
You know.
And that's you know, really a pat on the back for y'all because I don't really see a lot of people
Come here, babe.
in that light. You know what I mean?
Pet that
Aw.
back. Pet that back. That's what I'm talking about.
right.
Yeah.
But seriously,
Yeah,
you know,
appreciate that.
so that's my answer anyway. What's yours?
Wow, it's similar, right? But more than anything, for us, we couldn't really connect because again, we were really in tune in terms of like who we can have consistently around our kids.
Certainly.
And it's not that people were bad, it's just that when you don't know people, you just have to be diligent.
Yeah.
Or you just have to let your intuition, work.
Absolutely.
But more than anything, my husband and I, we also were teaching ourselves how to be parents, right?
Yeah.
Because my mom passed when I was 9 years old, mostly raised by my siblings and my dad. And my husband come from a single family home, so we were just trying to make it happen. And I came here when I was a kid, so I had to grow up really fast. So when you think about all of those things, they do come into play.
Yeah.
Right.
And so but more than anything, we did have a couple that we were close with. But what we've learned also, as we're navigating, is that if you're not careful, sometimes they are everything that is going on with them sometimes can trickle into your life.
Right.
Not that people should not have problems or whatever the case may be, but you have to ask yourself, is this healthy for me in this space that I'm in right now?
Right.
Are they healthy for me? Are they healthy for my family? Are they healthy for my children?
Right.
And if they're not, it's absolutely okay to say, you know what, I'm not going to be as open, and vulnerable as I usually am, because now once I answer all those questions, I have to put my children's safety first. I have to put my marriage first, before I, do that.
Certainly.
So it makes us look like we are introvert, but we are very calculated about that. So when we tell y'all like, oh, we're just so happy to be there kicking back, because everything was just so aligned.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've known y'all for like over a decade, 14, 15 years now.
Yeah.
And you consistently being being a really great couple, good people. This sister right here, I used to watch her just so automatically forgiving. Like you and I and the girl sometimes will be up talking crap and saying all kind of stuff out of control, and sometimes it's like, that didn't sit well with me, so I'll give her a call. I'm like, hey, that I know we're trying to be humorous, but as somebody, I'm burdened with empathy, so I'm like just trying to put myself in your shoes. What did you think of that comment? She was like, you know what, Lindy, when I think about it, I'm sure nobody meant anything about it.
Yeah.
Remember that? And I was just like, but it doesn't make it okay.
Hey,
No.
It was fun.
Her memory is just.
I'm an elephant.
She is like.
She's an elephant's elephant.
I feel like it.
I'm the grandma elephant.
Welcome, Tracy. We want to just take a moment real quick and just welcome. We got another
welcome, Tracy.
Person that's participating. Miss Tracy Nicole. Yes, welcome. Hey, I put a post in there. If you guys have any questions, comments, topics, questions for us in particular, if you want to know something, about couples. We have a very mature couple here and a maturing couple here. So we can meet you where you are.
In that case.
Yeah, she old. Hey, this my old patriarch right here.
We've been in this for long time. This elephant has been around for a while.
You ain't like 25. Man, I feel like
25 years.
25.
25.
It's gonna be,
man, I should blow my trunk just for that.
But on that point though, you guys been married for 12 years.
Yes.
And we've known you for all that time. So
You've known us for 15, right? It was 2010.
Because it was 2010.
So
this coming July, it'll be 15 years.
Our date anniversary.
Dating.
July.
Wow.
26.
Yeah.
July. Ours is in August 26th. Did you say July 26th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that
true.
crazy?
That's
Hey,
crazy.
look, and
Wow.
y'all married half as long.
Yes.
So 12 and we 24. So isn't that crazy?
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
So help a young couple out. What is the secret?
We got a secret. We got another family member from the UK.
Oh!
Hey, we got some. Hold on.
Yes. That's my nephew. He's
Hey,
in
nephew.
UK right
That's
now.
right,
What's up,
nephew.
nephew?
Ron, what was your
Yeah.
question? I'm sorry.
So speaking about being married for 25 years, I got this from Jenny. I can't take credit for this.
Okay.
But one thing that she asks, like her patients that have been married for, years and years, what is the secret? And so I ask you all, for having been married for 25 years, what is the secret to, keeping that marriage going?
Why did you
25
lose it?
years.
What
I just
happened?
want to make sure. What happened?
That's interesting.
My
That's the
doggone
first time
computer
something
went off.
like that
Oh, no.
happened. Yeah. Is it on the charger?
It should be.
Good.
I've been down here playing around trying to get ready for this great show that we having. Hey, Madonna says, "Hello, fam. I'm just at work at night shift. I'll be popping in and out." Okay.
All right.
Hey, we
awesome.
appreciate every moment.
Yes.
Thank y'all very
Indeed.
much. Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Sorry about
That's
that.
another power couple. Madala and
Hold on.
Emily
Just
have
not-
been
don't get
married.
sidetracked.
Let
We
me
got
just
a question.
one
It's
second.
all
One
good.
quick
It's all
second.
good.
It's all in the same question.
Okay.
Don't be making me
Okay,
say
Doc.
like what you said. This is why it worked for 25 years. We're very,
That's the secret.
That's the secret. Yeah. But Madala and his wife, Emily, beautiful, beautiful couple, have been married for 19 years.
19 years.
Yes. And I'm mentioning this because one of the things that my niece said to me, Madala's wife, I was like, wow, 19 years. Because, you know, everybody, as long as you're like 5 months younger than me, I always going to call you a kid. It's a cultural thing.
Right.
Sis knows. I'm like, my little sister, she's like, but I've asked her, I'm like, wow, your kid's been married for 19? She's like, yeah. I'm like, what's the secret? She's like, you know what? We agreed that we have to make, both of us wanted to make this work.
Yeah.
We wanted this to work. She said that was the fundamental agreement, you know, between, you know, two of them. And then once you agree that you want to make this work, nothing, you know, can get in your way.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Trial and
so let's
tribulations.
answer his question about us.
You couldn't wait.
I could. Well, I can't wait to hear
It's
your
not
answer.
always
I've been
about
waiting.
us.
I've been sitting here just
Rob is like,
patient. Like,
let's
let's. I'm nervous. Actually, what you gonna say? That's why I want to get it out.
I want to get it out in the open.
I'm nervous. I just want to hear what you got to say.
She said, "Be nervous."
Yeah.
I'm gonna take my time.
Right.
Oh no!
No,
Hey, what Compass Ion said next week we gonna have to have a karaoke night. Oh man, on the
Okay.
podcast.
Let's go.
Yeah,
All
man.
right, let's
Hey, I'll
go.
be the
Be
DJ.
down. Right.
Yes, I know.
So
I'm thinking about that.
answer his question though.
You know what? You
I gotta
keep
keep
interrupting.
I was pointing at you. That's why I was like, man.
Yeah. But you know what works though? We are not afraid of difficult conversations, as you can see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people who don't know us, they'll be like, dang, what's wrong with this couple? We're not afraid to disagree. And we're
Yeah.
not afraid to agree and to, you know, but one thing that I have learned culturally, I used to take things very personally. I'm kind of like an emotional person. I respond from an emotional place, right? Until I did work, I'm like, wait a minute, what emotion am I feeling right now and why am I responding? And then I've learned that from a total different culture, you know, for him, he can be very, very blunt. And I used to take whatever he say or do literally, and it didn't translate. But then again, to Emily's point, I knew that this is the father of my children. So culturally, it's like my children will always have a father.
Right.
Even if it inconveniences me, even if whatever, because once I had children, I realized that it's no longer about me. It's also about these little people that I brought in this world, and they deserve to have both mom and dad, unless we were not healthy for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's what, you know, made me. And he's a handful. I ain't no saint either. You know what I'm saying? But-
Hey boy, 5 foot is the cutoff.
See, this is what I'm talking about. I love him enough not to
Man.
go to jail.
Indeed.
Oh boy.
And he loved me enough not
Can
to
we
go to
edit that
jail.
part out? We're gonna edit that part out.
Hey, bitch, this live.
It's live. This one.
Retraction. Listen, you saw they edited Alicia Keys. Did I say that?
Ooh.
Ooh, you said.
Oh,
Stop.
oh, really?
No, you know what? But going to here's what I meant by. Let me qualify that because I know it sounded harsh, but I want to be as blunt and as forthcoming as possible.
Certainly.
You know, any relationship can have its trials and tribulations, right?
Absolutely.
And then it just depends on how you want to approach that. So I'm saying this, you know, using the extreme example because sometimes it can be very, very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And then you have to reach into that love place. Like I love him too much.
Yeah.
You know, to make a short-term decision because of how I'm feeling right now. That's exactly what I mean. Obviously, going to do that's super, super extreme.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
watch it. 25 years. You think I'm trying to start with someone else? I know myself.
Okay, follow-up question then.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on then with the culture that we're willing to throw away relationships,
Especially long term.
even long-term relationships?
Mm-hmm.
that we don't have the patience to work things out because you guys are not the norm.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, a couple decades ago, you would be right. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Right.
when I was spending a lot of my work hours in hospice, I was seeing a lot of couples, and that's why I would ask the question:
Yeah.
50 years, 40 years, 30 years. You know, what's the secret to a long-standing marriage?
right.
And just kind of catalog all those answers. But nowadays, like the generation under us and
Right.
on down,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I don't like your hair. We're done.
Right. Gotta
Right.
go. Right.
And I was reading something the other day. The divorce rate is something like, correct me if I'm wrong, like 50%. But then for like second and third marriages,
Yeah.
it goes higher.
Like
Right,
60,
right.
Like it goes to like 65 or 70
Yeah.
for second
Yeah.
marriages, and then 80 for third marriages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So third time is not a charm of the all.
Third
Not a
time is
charm.
definitely not the time.
Not a child.
Hey, but so, all right. So let me.
So yeah, we can go back and you
Yeah,
can answer.
I'm gonna.
You need to answer the question.
I'm going to because I think I mean those are great points that you made, but for me, like I had to grow up first and foremost, right?
Mhm.
Because as a young man in my early 20s and stuff like that, I was still shifty. Like I didn't know what I wanted, you know. And even to this day, I'm not even sure. I mean, outside of my wife and my family, those things I know I want, and I always wanted that from a little kid. So those things I knew I wanted. I didn't know who I want. Like all of those characteristics, I didn't have figured out. On top of the fact that coming from a single parent home, growing up in the community that I grew up in, my morals and ethics weren't intact. Let's just say, not that I was a horrible person, because I like to think that I was a decent person all my life. I've done some wrong things, I've done some bad things, but I've always tried to be good at the same time, I guess.
And I like your choice of word. Horrible.
Yes. So if I have to think about what it is, one thing, if I could, that has really been the glue, right, for our relationship, is just like self-control, right?
Yeah.
Because there's been times, especially when I was younger, I get angry and I respond with, aggression, or I respond with anger, maybe even. You know what I'm saying? And coming from an environment that was the norm.
Yeah.
Right.
You see, that was a hard thing for me to shake off, and then having cultural differences like we do.
I wasn't having it.
Whether it's how we live our life or the way that we were raised, like all of those things. So there was a lot of clashing, you know what I mean? And I'm not sure that I'm fully matured still, but until I matured to a place where I can accept the fact that we are different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Our approach to doing things is different.
Yeah.
Does that mean that it's right? See, that was the part I had to adjust to.
Yeah.
Because when you do things the way you do things, you think what you do is right.
Yeah.
And so that was a notch that I had to really struggle to get out of. And I probably, considering we got married when I was 23, right? And so I was a kid. Like, I didn't have that many relationships.
I was
what I mean?
25. We were
No,
both
I'm talking, that's why I said relationships. I ain't talking about age.
People think I'm robbing the crib up in here. I just throw the pacifier out of the crib and the bottle and get in there and snuggle up. I'm a kid at 23. I'm feeling some kind of way. Go ahead.
Man, how did you pay for our lunch with that AARP card, though?
Wow. She got a discount. She got a discount, bro.
Right.
Them city at discounts. That's where it be like, baby, that's why I love you.
Fun fact, you can get AARP at 18.
Really?
I did not know this. Somebody at my job showed me. Lauren showed me.
Wow.
Is
I had-
Lauren a member of AARP?
She might be, I don't know. But
See, that's a mess.
but like you get a whole bunch of discounts. So like
I kept getting that mail.
Yeah.
I just thought it was junk mail, and you mean I could have been getting all kind of.
I mean you could
Sign up.
you could sign up. I
need to start reading my mail.
I've always had the proclivity that it's for old people. So I'm
They
just
Yeah,
like,
roasting us
60
in
and
comments, y'all. They just,
Oh, boy.
They roasting
What
us.
they
Oh, boy,
say?
what they talking about?
Let's look at the
Look,
comments.
you just look at all them happy face, them smiley face. They roasting. Let's see. What did let's see, Denise. Let's see here. What did she say?
I think that's a good thing though. We
No,
should
it
be
is.
smiling.
It's
Yeah.
good. Let's see. What does it say? More like hood dropped. What is that? I don't understand. Let me see here. I think I might have got too far behind, y'all.
While he's
It's all
reading
good.
that, to what my husband also, what we talk about is that I've learned that I don't need to change him And if I truly love him, I have to love him as he is.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to turn him into what I want him to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and another thing we realize that culturally we're very different. You know, for me, you can express your anger without all the drama. Right?
Yeah.
And to him, it felt like if I not myself, when I'm angry, this is what I do.
Yeah.
And I used to tell him that it's not a terminal illness, it's a decision. If you love me enough, you're going to have to be very mindful.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
especially because he's 6'2", I'm 5'8", so you're already towering over me. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure,
and
sure.
you're already like, you're already loud. So I had to have, when I talk about boundaries, that's what I talk about too, the distance. You know, when you feel that kind of energy, mind your distance, mind your tone.
Yeah.
And remember too that I'm at the receiving end of whatever you chose to respond, you know, to me.
Not
So
only that.
we yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, not only that, but you know, it's like, as I was explaining, you know, in them younger years of our marriage or my life even, you know, the response to choose to respond with anger versus, because you got options.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if somebody do something you don't like, you could respond or you could not respond. You know what I mean? Like there's options within that.
Right, right.
And
Yeah.
you know, for me, like now especially, you know, like the biggest piece of advice that I have, I tell this to my daughters and, you know, other relationships that, you know, people that are in relationships, I mean, is that I found what works, what really, I mean, now granted, you got to have a decent person.
Yeah.
So let me
Yes.
just say that, because sometimes if you got the wrong person, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if you have somebody that you truly do care for,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
and that
love
truly
them.
cares for you, the biggest battle is going to be overcoming your emotions and your feelings, right?
Absolutely.
That's the biggest battle. Like once you overcome that, then and realize that, you know, in your pursuit to love yourself, right? Because that's what's causing us to be selfish,
Yeah.
right? You don't, it's just like giving to somebody else. When you pour your love into somebody else, if that person is a good person,
Right.
then it automatically, once it overflows, it comes
It
right back to
bounces
you.
back.
You see what I'm saying?
Reciprocity. Yeah.
So that's what I had to like internalize, and that's where I find my value. That's where I find the value in our relationship. It's like no matter what, no matter how angry I get at her, no matter how angry she get at me, you know. Now when she get angry, it lasts a little bit longer, but you know, for me, I'm from the mindset that I don't want to go. I don't want to be mad. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be fussing. I don't want to be fighting.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna say what I gotta say, and you either gonna like it or you're not gonna like it. But then, you know, I'm gonna deal with the repercussions, right?
Yeah.
But then I'm ready to go. After that, I'm ready to move on. Like I'm not about holding grudges or making people pay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
It's
I
not
think
worth
in
it.
relationships, that's one big problem is when you want to go tit for tat. You know, you did this to me, so I'm gonna do this to you.
Yeah.
And you know, if you can avoid that type of mindset, and really, what I was saying that I advise, if you will, other people, is that if you wake up and your goal is to make him happy, and you wake up and your goal is to make her happy, then both of y'all should be happy.
Yeah.
You see?
And it's interesting you say that, because we argue more about not
Helping
being
each
able
other.
to help each other than we argue about anything else.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to help you. Well, I was trying to help you. Stop helping you.
Yeah.
Stop helping me, because I'm helping you and you're helping me help you, and I
Yeah.
just want to help you.
Y'all get on my nerves.
Like, yeah, and no,
No,
seriously,
for real.
because like
Yeah.
she'll be
Okay, swap problems.
trying to do something. She'll be trying to do something, and at the same time, we're both thinking of how we can help make this thing easier for the other person.
Right.
So like, case in point, we're getting stuff out of the car, getting groceries out of the car.
Right.
I'm thinking, okay, we got this box, we got this, we got that. I can
Yeah.
grab this box, and then I can probably grab this other thing too.
And I'm
she's like,
he's got this
he's
box.
got the box.
Let me get this.
Yeah.
Now we fighting over grabbing the middle thing,
Right.
the second thing, and then
Right.
it's like, we're gonna get to the door. Well, I'm gonna get the door so I can hold it, because
Right,
you're
right.
carrying
And
a
then
box
both of
with
y'all
two
run to the
hands.
and then I'm trying to beat her to the
I'm
door,
gonna balance the
putting the box in one hand, trying to open up the door, and she's like,
let
babe.
me help you.
Like, I'm trying to help you. Yeah. That's
Oh, that's hilarious.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
that's
the kind of stuff we fight over. Yeah.
what we're fighting on.
It's combination for us, because the grocery, you know, that sounds so
Oh,
familiar.
man.
Because I'm like,
Great point.
I'm on this side. I'm like, let me just hand you the grocery and you put them in there. We can make this faster.
Yeah.
You know, and in his case, he's like, well, no, I want you to sit in the car. It's cold. I'm like, if I'm cold, you cold too. I know
Like
that.
we're cold. Like
Right.
we're cold
Cold.
together.
So let's
Right.
do this fast so we can both get in the car.
Right.
And so we find ourselves fighting over it. He's like, just get in the car. He's like, well, first and foremost, with your short little hands, it's going to take you 3 times the time to get in. He doesn't
sounds like
say it
Rob.
that way. But that's how I receive it.
I'm
You got
just saying.
short little hands. It's going to take you forever.
I
Oh
know I
my
can get
God.
6 at a time.
Right.
Once it
Look.
took it.
And because of that, I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Extra slow.
3, and I'm
Extra slow.
counting.
Wow.
And he's sitting, he's just like,
Hey,
okay,
so we
let's-
got a few people here that's talking smack about us. They
Oh,
said
boy.
we ignoring them. So let me
Yeah.
back this up right quick.
Dang,
So
but that's you.
I
'cause
can't bring it up over here and I can read it to you.
Oh, I can't
Yeah,
see
see,
through
he's
your
right.
hood.
Hey,
I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna come
I
up.
mean,
Give him the mouse.
All right, here we
Sure.
go. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Booyah.
Oh, all right.
see, now, see, we would have been reading these this whole
We ain't
time.
ignoring y'all. We love
Yeah.
y'all.
Hey, well, I'm trying to get him in when I can. But all right, so we had, let's see here. We had Compass Ion and Frederick and Denise Taylor is just roasting us, talking about me. And then let's see here, Madala, he had a really, really good point here. It says, sorry to butt in, but another main one I think is you have to be able to block out the outside negative noise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Meaning, do you do what it is that you want, that you both want, not what a friend or I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or whoever
Yeah.
wants you to do.
External
Yeah.
influence.
You know
Blocking
what?
out the noise is huge.
Knocking out
Yeah.
the noise is so huge.
Yes, it is.
Like,
Yeah.
he's my best friend, right? So if
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to somebody, I'm talking to him first.
Right.
Mhm.
If we have problems, I'm going to talk to him first.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm not going to talk to my girl
Right.
and get her input.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm definitely not going to run to a friend of mine who's a gentleman
Right.
and talk smack about my husband
Exactly.
There's
for
always
that
that.
noise in my ear.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
so we do just exactly what he's saying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a tunnel vision over our relationship. And,
Right.
Mhm.
You know, it's the conversation is here.
Yeah.
Right,
Mhm.
right, right.
And then too, blocking out the noise of your past.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
because for me, having been married prior to
Mhm.
and then being divorced,
Mhm.
anytime she touches a scar
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
or a wound,
Right.
you know, I'm then responding out of, oh, well, this is how it went before.
Right.
Right.
And so I had to learn how to not respond from a place of trauma,
Mhm.
Right.
but respond, you know, in love. Or even like, you know, we had a conversation maybe like about a month ago or so, and, you know, letting each other know, okay, so in these types of situations, just asking a simple question: did you mean for it to come off this way? Because I took it this way.
Right. Right.
And then that just kind of completely turns it around and it gives us an opportunity to have a conversation
Right.
and build a bridge versus a wall.
Awesome.
Right.
Wow, that's a
Yeah.
great comment. And that's, to be conscious of that. Like, am I punishing her, for
some
all
of
Yeah.
the wrong
mistakes.
deals, for
Yeah.
Right,
my ex's
right.
mistakes?
So we all
That's
walk around with a
huge.
lens.
Yeah.
You know, we're
Yeah.
all looking through a lens of our past experience.
Mhm.
Right.
And so did I clean off my glasses for him?
Mm.
Or am I still looking through all these past relationships?
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
You know what? That's
That's
an
a
excellent
great
point, man.
point,
But I'll take that even a step further
Mhm.
in saying that in your existing relationship,
It's a
it's
must.
really the same. It's the same thing, right?
Mhm.
Because like, especially when you have long relationships, right? When you've
Mm-hmm.
been together for a long period of time,
Right.
you experience ups and downs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so sometimes something may happen that
Yeah.
causes you to reflect on the past, just as like you were talking about a previous relationship. Well,
Yeah.
it ain't a previous
Mhm.
relationship; it was a
Mhm.
previous experience,
Yeah.
right? And the unfortunate thing is sometimes people use that as a way to say you haven't changed, you haven't
Mhm.
see, which
Mhm.
is counterproductive
Yeah.
when you think about how you deal with kids, right? You
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
want to be in a positive light. You always want to be encouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so in your relationship, you have to, and it's a hard place to be,
Mhm.
right?
It is.
Because
Mhm.
when your emotions are the one that's on the line,
Right.
to sacrifice those for a moment, right, is
Mhm.
it can be a real challenge.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I see in many relationships, right?
Right.
Either people have gotten together for the wrong reasons,
Yeah.
or they allow their emotions to
bleed
affect
over.
their short-term reality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we humans, we're gonna experience all different kinds of emotions. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
But if you don't learn how to control those emotions, and I think that's what I was alluding to before,
Yeah.
is that self-control, learning how to be pissed off, to be angry. You get on my blah blah blah, but it don't end there. See, that's very different than somebody who internalizes that and manifests hate towards your spouse.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we can't do any things to upset each other, to disappoint each other, right? But I think if your goal is to love, even when you express yourself in a maybe aggressive way, it's not an aggressive terminal or terminating way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what happens with a lot of relationships. You see people get mad, and before you know it, it becomes physical, then it becomes verbal, and then it just continues to manifest, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Compass said it's called compassion, and that's very key. Very key.
And so, but you alluded to, Rob, that those were, that was a response in the past, but as you leveled up, and as you've grown and developed as a human, as a soul, that you don't act in those ways anymore.
I try not to,
But I think that comes in the compassion lane and honoring your significant other, because if that's not their language,
right?
I mean, because if it was your language and you was like knuck if you buck,
right?
And then y'all were, you were talking at his belly button and he was talking down at your y'all.
I knew you was going to talk. I'm not sure, okay?
What you say to me?
We're all going to be the belly button.
Bend down and say it. Bend down and say
Sit
it.
down and say it with
I'm
your
going to
chest.
punch on your belly button. Not what?
But that relationship, there would be no room for you to level up, right?
Yeah.
Because that's where y'all will be at.
Right.
But she called you to be more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you responded to that.
Exactly.
And then I think that we both, Ron and I have had this conversation, and various times in our relationship, he'll be the big person and he'll call me to be more. And then I'll be the big person and I'll call him. And then it's this beautiful ladder of us both, growing and ascending together.
Absolutely.
That's longevity.
That's
you ask the question, how do you make it work? That's how you make it work.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Hey, being confident enough in yourself to allow somebody else to try to pull you up to another level, because sometimes we think we got it all.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was my weakness. I think that was my biggest weakness. Like I said, I had to grow up and I had to depend. I do have weaknesses.
Thought you was calling me. I didn't know.
Oh my gosh.
No, but you know what? One biggest weakness, and my husband used to say this, like sometimes you don't try to do everything by yourself. Ask for help.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't try to know everything by yourself. Ask for help. Since a very young age, I had to depend mostly on myself. So I don't know, and I still struggle with that to this day. I don't know how to reach out, ask for help. Most of the time when my family, my friends get to know me, when they know I disappear for a while, they're like, she's dealing with something, right? Because I just don't know how to reach out and ask for help.
Yeah.
And then, but I've learned that for my husband, it's the most painful thing for him when he can reach, that place that I go to, when I'm going through something. Because I get really quiet and I go in my own space. Yeah. And he's like, I'm here. I love you. Let's go through this together. Right. And so having, being open enough and allowing people to love you and go in that place of trust is, something that I really had to work hard and accept help. Even a hug. Like when I'm upset, don't hug me. You know what I'm saying? And I have to learn. Oh, so he laughed.
He just tapped my foot.
So it's not just me.
No.
Oh, okay. I love this.
You're not alone.
So ain't nothing wrong with me. This is
What's wrong
normal.
with you?
No.
I love that.
Is your love
I'm an only
overwhelming too?
child. I'm an only child.
Yeah.
Right, that's
I
true.
don't, so if it's a problem, and I have to solve
When
it.
she's-
Yeah.
I'm gonna solve it.
Yeah.
And I need some space to solve it.
Yeah.
I don't need a hug about it.
Yes.
You can hold the tissue over there.
Dang.
Right. It's go time, and I need to figure this out. Let me just,
Yeah.
I'm
And
kinda
I
like
think
that too.
what we're doing, Jeannie, we deprive them that opportunity because they feel what we feel. They may not express it and all of that,
Right.
and then it feels like, Rob said, it's just so hard that I can't hold you when you like that, when you go through something. But at the same time, it's like, I'm not even rejecting you. It's not even about you. It's just like, you gotta understand, I need that space to sort it out, to sort my emotions,
So
to allow myself to go through.
Let me add this from my perspective. I won't say males because you might have a different view, but like for me, in a situation like that, it's like my nature is to try to solve problems. My nature is to try to make people happy, try to make people laugh. Yeah. And so in a situation like that, right, when you appear to be going through something or you appear to be down, like that, I feel like is my responsibility to try to change that. I'm not gonna say fix it because you know, but to try to do what I can to bring you out. Just the same, you talking about leveling, it's the same thing because depression, right? Sadness, you know, whether it's momentary or long term. Yeah. That's the, you know, like when I said when I get angry, I'm angry and then tomorrow I'm back ready to go. You know, that's how I operate. Like I don't try to harbor anger for a long, and matter of fact, let me just say this because this was this was a big light for me. Big time light for me. I was probably 30-ish, right around there. And what I learned is that, you know, if you ever find yourself intentionally being mad, meaning that you perfectly fine and then somebody that you had an issue with or whatever come into your space and now all of a sudden you got the poo-poo face. And you gonna make sure that you got that poo-poo face so they know that, you see what I'm saying? It's like that. It's like, it's altering your reality to try to teach somebody a lesson. Or, I mean, maybe that's not the best way to say it, but you understand what I'm saying? Like for me, and so when I realized that a lot of people's goal is to make you angry and make you aware of either what you've done so that you can feel some kind of way, and then they continue to kind of poke you and prod. You know, I don't know if that makes sense to y'all, but like for me, that was a huge thing. It was like, if I find myself changing how I feel right now to just so you can know that I'm angry at you, then it's not really anger. See what I'm saying? That is something that you intentionally are manifesting. Yeah. Right? And if you're not careful, that rules your life. Right?
There are many angry people out there.
It is. Yeah. And then their approach to everything is on that anger foot. You know what I mean?
But I think that, like, we as women, I'll speak for myself. I just want someone to companion me in the feeling. I am already working on a solution. I'm a very solution-minded person. And so I already see, I love big pictures. And so if I'm right here, I see the end game and I'm trying to figure out which rock to jump to. And I really just want you to companion me in this moment. Be a sounding board. I don't need you to fix it. I don't need you to construct something for me, you know.
Whereas I'm very much solution oriented. Right. So it's like, okay, this is the problem. Let's get to the solution. That's right. And so I've had to learn how to take a step back in those instances. And sometimes I catch myself, like when we talk about work, I just, you know, I'm ready to fix it because I don't want you to walk around with that look anymore. Right. But I've had to learn how to, what? Really? How does that make you feel? What's your, you know, and I've had to learn how to at least try to do that. I'm not the best at it. I'm not perfect, but I'm learning how to do that versus trying to step in and fix it. Yes. You know, and that just goes into, you know, love languages and learning how to love her. Yeah. Where she is, the way she needs to be. Yeah. Not the way I want to love her, but the way she needs to be loved.
You got it. Wait.
So I would throw a question mark on that simply because
we had that conversation. You know, I'd like to be
so if we both are not altering our realities to find that common ground, and in that description, that's not what I hear. Okay. I hear you meeting her where she needs to be met, or where you think she needs to be met by what you understand her to be telling you through her via love language. You see what I'm saying? And see, that's what I try to be careful of, because if you can't be genuine, you're who you are genuinely, just like the same as you want to solve problems the way you want to solve problems, right? Then he should also have the same ability to be who he is genuinely. If his genuine nature is to try to comfort you through his love language,
you know,
cooking
expediting
you,
the solution,
making the tea,
because he sees it.
whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? Like it becomes such a complicated. I like the
It's
way.
a dance.
Yeah. I like what you use.
I have to throw
that rock in
I
there.
think that really,
Yeah.
really speaks more to it than a dance, because
Yeah.
if you jump to the wrong rock, you can't get to where you need to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's what I like. I just observed that, because what tends to happen in relationships, either the man is trying to please the woman, or the woman is trying to please the man.
Mm-hmm.
Very seldomly do you see a happy medium of them both sacrificing to please one another.
Mm-hmm.
Hence why I said what I said earlier about if you wake up with him as your goal and he wakes up with you as you as his goal, you see, it begins to give you a completely different perspective on the feelings that you portray, and that at which you allow people to give into you. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where I just like, I try to be mindful, because we become selfish when we hurting.
I don't.
We do.
No,
we become very selfish when we hurting. We want to be treated a certain way. We want to be talked to a certain way. We want the problem to be solved a certain way. If we have arrived to that point, and that's all I'm saying.
So I think it's a combination of both. And if I may throw a rock in there, a little bit, a pebble. I saw the little, like, don't throw a pebble. But what I gotta say about that is a combination. Sometimes it's not about you, right? As much as you want to show up as your genuine self, it's okay sometimes to put yourself a little bit on the back seat, you know, and address the issue at hand. It's not about me. It's my wife or my husband.
So that's why I use the word companion.
Companion, yeah.
Yeah,
You
be
see
my
what I'm saying?
companion. I'm not asking you to be in front or behind. I'm asking you to be right here next to me
Yes.
while I'm going through this.
Right.
You know.
And when I need to lean, believe me, I know you love me, you know, and you're there, and I'm gonna lean.
Yeah.
Right. So because it's like, so one of the things that we talked about is that, and you mentioned love languages. Great book, by the way. You know, like once you learn her love language, you learn to love and support her in a meaningful way to her. Like, for instance, you know, the whole thing of buying flowers. My husband finally got it. You buy me flowers, I'm thinking, what am I going to do with this stuff? It grows in my backyard at home. There's so many of them, big, beautiful ones. Now, you bought me this, what am I supposed to? So I have to do what I see people do on TV. Like, oh my God, it's so good. But it's flowers. Could have bought me an outfit. Could have bought, you know, I can wear that forever. Flowers will die in 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong about flowers, so romantic and all that. But coming from a different culture, you know, my perspective is different.
Yeah.
But once you learn my love language, you'll be like, you know what? The way she thinks, the way she functions and all that, flowers is not the thing. Candy, she'll eat.
For
Go
him,
ahead.
it's service. Like, so for my love language is acts of service. And so that's why he makes the tea.
Right.
You know, it's, I'll put the water on, I'll make the tea, you know. Because I'm like, oh, I love you. Let me get in the kitchen. Let me cook, you know, some dinner. And I care about you being around for a long time. So let me go out in the garden and let me grow these vegetables from the seed. Little seed.
Yeah.
He all smiles. Like, yeah, baby, do that.
I love you, little plant. Feed my family.
That's her thing.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. So for us, it's interesting because his love language, again, is service, right? This man will get up. That's why I was like, when I saw Ron, I was like, oh my God, that's my husband. You know, in the kitchen, cooking, feeding the kids, and especially if I'm studying or have something important to do, so I go in there, close the door, he got it, right? Yeah. And at the same time, I'm feeling some kind of way. I feel a little bit guilty because I'm like, gosh, you need help. And I realize when I try to get, you know, once it's in the mode, I'm just getting in the way. So I have to, you know, learn that. Right. But his love language is more like, you know what? I can do everything else, you know, myself. I just need you to be there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's more of a compassionate guy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just hug me every now and then. Yeah. Not that I'll hug you, but you know what I'm saying? I can't hug you 24/7.
That's all I require.
He's a very affectionate person.
I'm a self-sustainable person.
His love language is touch as well.
Yeah, it's touch, you know. And I may as well be the only child. So sometimes we're very reserved in a way, right? Yeah. We touch, we love, but not as much as he does. You know, because if I'm busy and I'm concentrating on that, he come and hug me, I'm just like, okay, now I lost my train of thought.
I'll sit on your back.
Here. You see, I'm studying. Get a hug.
That's this guy.
Yes,
that's
indeed.
all I got.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so we know
that's this guy.
Baby,
I'm gonna just get in her face like,
I'm focused.
hey.
I'm trying to cook something, and
Here I
he comes
am.
with a bear hug, and I'm like,
Hey, you remember we married, right?
Right.
Yep.
the skillet is on and the eggs are burning.
Right.
Like,
Right.
can this be an abbreviated hug or?
Abbreviated.
Listen, she want a high five. She was air hug.
Right.
I catch her where she's hostage. She's right there in the kitchen. I know she got to watch that food. I'm like, okay.
Can't go nowhere.
Right.
How you doing?
Right.
She like,
I
what?
just stand there like,
Ain't the Lions playing or something? What?
you know we Bears fans, babe. I don't
We
even know why you
Bears.
did that.
Hey, I was
Don't
trying to
translate it for the
I was trying to
Michiganders,
respect
okay?
the Michiganders.
Chicago wins.
Oh, she had to don't translate it for the
Listen, what about the Bears?
It's from Shy.
They aight.
Oh, man.
We'll catch it.
I think they feel a little blue.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh yeah.
I mean, but they haven't gone 0-16, so.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
This
That
is
did happen.
amazing.
Our guys, they were just planning on a great future. And they were taking the time to get there. I accept that. It can be
They took
tough.
the long route.
The
Yeah.
long and winding
That's
road.
right.
Yeah, I still managed to miss the exit.
Right.
Yeah, so we can run that Super Bowl shuffle back.
Oh,
How about y'all?
yeah, you ain't ready.
Wow. Yeah.
Where's your dance?
Hey, didn't you see him in the end zone?
Where's the Lions?
It's something like this.
Video.
Like, y'all can't see me.
The post Super Bowl.
Hey,
Shuffle
well, just
video.
make sure y'all get y'all tickets to the game so you can, wear your blue, because they will be winning.
Okay, I mean, we can
Blue
sprinkle
all
hope in
sports.
there,
Yeah, a little bit.
and we'll see what
Right.
happens.
Blue all
Hey,
sports.
I ain't watched a football game
Yeah.
to save my life,
Yeah.
but I'm just going for
Okay.
the home team.
Yeah. But
It's all
we
good.
really
It's all
appreciate this conversation,
Yeah.
right?
Man,
Because sometimes
thank
I be like, man, are we normal? And to hear that, wait a minute, they do the same thing.
Yeah.
Y'all got the same kind of love language. We got, our own ways too. But again,
Y'all don't wear hoods, and we wear hoods. The conversation is.
Don't-
Yeah, I know.
I got hot. I had to pull mine down. I got
I
hot.
did too. I
You
did.
ain't even have it up.
My cheeks start sweating and everything.
Eyebrows.
But no,
So, hey, what we haven't done yet is we haven't dropped any. I know we've been talking nuggets, but I
Yeah.
want to make sure we come back to leave that nugget in a summarized version so people can really get that.
Yeah.
We are at an hour and 10 minutes, so we have.
Oh my,
Yeah, we
we're
have
having so
passed
much
time
fun.
flies
That's
when you're
okay.
having fun.
Because
Time
we
flies.
that's what
Yeah.
that's what happens. So we
Wow.
just keep the conversation going. But let's make sure we do that. So let's take a moment real quick and just think about the things that we talked about, right?
Mm.
And I guess we could all maybe just reflect on like what resonated, with either whoever want to go first, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I'll go first, and I'm going to repeat this. I've learned this from my nephew as well, and I think we said a few things
Okay.
involving that. But protect self,
Mm-hmm.
protect your family,
Right.
protect your energy.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, surround yourself with the people who want to see you work, people who have the best interest for your marriage health
Yes.
and your children, people who also understand their boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
If sis come here and she say, hey, I'm stressed, it's not my place to tell her like, girl, what? That right then I'm jumping over my boundaries. So I respect you enough to say, yeah, it's a marriage, honey. You'll
Sounds
figure
like
it
you
out.
should talk to him about
Yeah,
it.
sound like
Always
you should be
redirect
talking.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because girl, I'm coming over here. Go over there. He over there. So, but yeah, so
Yes.
protect self, protect your energy, protect your family, and commit on wanting it to work.
Mm-hmm.
And shut outside noise. All of that. Surround yourself by good people,
Right.
not just for you. We may be having fun, but are we good people for your kids? Because they matter too. If
Yeah.
we come around and the kids are like, ooh, girl, protect your space and your kids.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Jenny, what you got?
I like what you said as far as like waking up and the focus of my day besides
Mm-hmm.
getting to work and getting home from work
Right.
and taking care of the kids is what's one thing that I can do for him
Mm-hmm.
to pour into him.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What about you, big guy?
I think one of the things that stuck out to me when we were talking about, finding couples, finding friends, and finding people that you can hang with, and people that can be around your kids. I think that intention is everything,
Yeah.
and so making sure that number one, your intentions are made known.
Right.
but then also knowing the intentions of others and making sure, as we're protecting our family and things like that, being careful about, careful and communicative about intentions.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
And what's yours, Rob?
Well, all right. Well, I got to get there. What I'm going to say is it really just resonates with everything that you all have already said. So, I think the big thing is not to forget to love on the people who love you.
Right.
Because we can get so bogged down and so busy with our day-to-day, like you said, making it to work and just making it home sometimes can be a huge burden. And in that, sometimes you just get happy to be at home and you forget that there's people there waiting on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That need you, that love you, that respect you, that can pour into you and that you can pour into. And I think if we as spouses, or people who desire to become spouses in the future, remember that, man, because everybody want to be loved,
Yeah.
And so I mean, you gotta love people the way you want to be loved too. It's an education. I think love is about education. It's about like we've been talking about love languages and things like that. It's important to teach the people that love you how to love you best. And it's important for you to be receptive to the love that they are giving you in return. So that would be my negative.
That's a beautiful way to end this show.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? It's pure, beautiful, it's positive.
Yeah.
We just keep loving on.
Well, I am so excited about this show today because we have been trying to do everything we can to have people like y'all, be a part of this show, because I think it's important to get the message out. And the whole reason why we wanted to do Conversations Under the Hood was really to try to create a positive space somewhere. And not to say that there's not positive things going online, but there's more negative stuff than there is positive stuff.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank the Caldwells for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for having us.
Absolutely.
We have
Thank y'all
learned
for
from
having
y'all, and I hope
Absolutely.
that the audience has had an opportunity to learn from some of the things that we talked about. We welcome y'all back anytime, by the way.
Yes.
I mean,
Anytime.
Please keep coming.
Yes,
We'll be there
welcome.
Tuesday.
Yes.
Remember, Tuesday, 7 to 8 p.m. Tune into health.
Yes. So is that all one word,
Tune
by the
into
way?
health.
Tune into health. Is that a Facebook page or?
I think I used the number
It is a
2.
Facebook.
Oh.
Yeah, I did 2
All right.
and number 2 health.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Because
Hey.
the TO was taken.
Put it. If do you have it open on your Because if you put
I'm
it in
about
there
to,
before
yeah.
I close this live out,
Yeah,
I wanna
please
make
share
sure
that.
we get
Let's
that in there.
tune into health.
Yeah, just join the page and then the topics will be posted.
Yeah.
I'll talk to my niece in the UK in Domby. She's very much into health and herbs and everything.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's the
So
page in
she
the
can-
comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
we're
There
not
it
going to
is.
start back until February. So February is Love Your Gut Month, and we'll start back after National Poop Day.
Oh, great. Hey, we got some good
National
feedback
Food Day.
here, guys.
Yeah, Shane said such a beautiful episode, guys. I've learned a lot. Love you
Awesome.
guys.
Oh, we love you too.
All right. Hey, and for
Yeah.
everybody that is
Shane
watching,
Mello.
don't forget there, y'all see Mr. Caldwell posted, Tune Into Health. Let
Yes.
me tell y'all, folks, this lady got it down. We
Yes.
spent some time with him last night, and I feel nourished. I feel replenished.
Yes.
I got knocked out with some spray. And I'm feeling great today.
Passion flower.
That's
Yes.
it, baby.
Passion flower.
Passion
Yes.
flowers, yes. So,
Love
y'all
it.
keep a lookout. Maybe next week. Hopefully, I know that our soon-to-be doc here is looking to launch her business and have her website, and we want to help you get that message out
Yeah,
there.
she'll
If
keep
you
us
ever want to
healthy.
have like a family and health conversation, like
Yes.
some things that we can do.
No, we got to.
We
So,
have
got
to.
Yeah.
You know, we
Let's
have
do
to.
it.
We
We got
are
to.
what we
Do it.
eat, after all, right?
are
We
what
are
we
what
eat,
we
and
think.
should eat to live, not live to eat.
Girl, you
Girl.
better say it.
Hmm.
Hey, and that's a great way to
You
end the
just
show.
saved me some grocery money right there.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another great
All right,
episode
see y'all.
of Conversations Under the Hood. We're going to close this out with another great song from Compass Ion.
Right.
So we grooving and we moving. Oh,
Hey,
wait a minute, you
hey,
bouncing. Hey,
hey,
hey, hey. Somebody pass the bottle.
Hey.
Oh, did I say that out loud? I forgot to do it live. My bad.